Well, hi there, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Real Estate Investing. I'm your host, Sharon Vornholt, and I'm so happy you're tuning in today. Today, I want to do an overview of lead generation, and I'm going to do the overview today, and then I'm going to do a series of videos, a series of podcasts on the 5 things that I want to really point out today that I think you should focus on. So, what is lead generation? Well, it's the process of finding motivated sellers through marketing. That's its simplest definition. But today, there are so many ways that you can generate leads, but I want to focus on 5. And they are going to be direct mail, networking. We talked about relationship marketing a couple of weeks ago, and I'll link back to that one because that one's important. I want to talk about websites, content marketing, and consistent follow-up. Like I said, today, I'm just going to touch on these a little bit, and then I'm going to do a deeper dive into each one of these so that you can put them all together and have a cohesive plan here for 2023. Now, if you don't have a marketing plan all set in stone now, a written marketing plan, go over to the blog, the Louisville Gals Real Estate blog.com, and I will put a link to that in the show notes where you can get a marketing plan template. It's a simple template to fill out, put your chosen strategies on, but you have an opportunity to put the steps down. For instance, for direct mail, the things you want to focus on in networking. Now, that may seem silly, but you have to have a plan in order to get results. So get the marketing plan template and then jot down the things that you want to focus on. And I recommend that you put each one of these things in there because they will make a big, big difference in your business if you do this over the next 12 months. I can promise you that. So let's dive in. Let's start out with direct mail. Now, you all know that direct mail is one of my favorite strategies. It is the thing in an up market, in a down market, it doesn't matter. Direct mail works. You may get a different response in different markets, but over time, direct mail will consistently bring you good leads. Now, people ask me all the time, how many mail pieces do I need to send out? Well, that depends. It depends on your budget. It depends on who you're targeting, and it depends on a lot of things that we'll cover in the direct mail module. But when we talk about that, we're going to focus in on these things. We're going to talk about the mail piece and what the differences are in the different pieces and when you should use one mail piece over another piece. So that's an important thing. We will talk about the message on the mail piece. The message are the words on the paper, they matter. And if you are mailing to pre-foreclosures, that will be different than probates, than absentee owners, than a lot of the other types of leads that you could be mailing to. So we're going to talk about all of those things. We will talk about lists and the different types of lists that you can get for your direct mail campaigns, how you find those leads, where you get them, which ones are free, which ones you're going to have to pay for. And we will also be talking about actual direct mail campaigns. Those are the actual mailings that you do every month. So what's the time frame for these? When can you expect them to work? Statistically, what's going to happen? So that's what we're going to cover in the direct mail part of this. Number 2 is networking. And we're going to talk about going to a networking event with a purpose. Each networking event should have an expected outcome. There can be many different types of outcomes, whether it's to buy properties from another investor, to just build your brand. You need to go with a plan. Who am I going to talk to? What is it that I want? And then what can I do for these other people? So we're going to dive into all of those things because you just cannot be in the ask position all the time. And what do I mean by that? Is asking someone to do something for you. You have to have a way to give back. And we'll talk about that too. So go with the big picture. Know what your goals are with networking. For most of us, it will be to simply get people to know who we are. Okay. So I say this a lot. It's not who you know, but it's about who knows you that counts in real estate investing. Now, third, we're going to dive into websites. When I was having this conversation just 2 or 3 years ago, hardly anyone had a website. And I need to really drive home the reasons why you must have a website. It's not an optional thing anymore. That is your online business card. And then we're talking about that. We want to talk about the importance of setting up your About Us page, why that's so important, and why it is so important that you get out of your comfort zone and make a short video, and what that video should say. We're going to go into that because it's probably not what you think. It's not you touting how great your company is. So that's one thing we'll be working on. I want to talk about why the structure of your website is important. You might think that you can go into WordPress and build a website, which you can, and you can put it up there. Will it get you leads? Probably not unless you've spent a ton of money on SEO. So I want to give you some done for you resources in this series so that you can get whichever thing you're working on up and running. So that's number 3. Number 4 is something that I've talked about before, and that is content marketing. Folks, you have to be creating some kind of content. And I'm going to show you some easy ways to put together content, why this is vital to your survival long-term as a business, why you must be doing this. And I want you to be able to do this without stressing out over it. I also want to bring up something that is new to us today, something that has just exploded, and that is ChatGPT. And I want to show you how you can use this to create great content in a fraction of the time. You can generate an endless supply of ideas and become the expert in your market in little time at all. We'll just say that. So that is number 4. That's the 4th thing we're going to cover in this series. And number 5 is arguably one of the most important things in your marketing toolbox, and that is consistent follow-up. As many as 80% of your deals will come from consistent follow-up. Now, if you think about that for a minute, that is huge. People often tell us no, and I used to think no meant no, but now I know that no actually means not now many times. I'm not ready to sell now. I'm not ready to sell this week or this month, or it might be 6 months, but you have to have follow-up systems. You will outperform the investor that doesn't have follow-up systems 100 times over just by doing this one thing, just by not accepting that no is a final no forever. So you need to have systems in place. You need to have a way to keep your leads. You need to have a way that makes it easy for you to follow up with people. And I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to give you some tools too for a free CRM. And you can look in the show notes below this podcast, below this video, and you can find these things and take a look at them. They are things that I use in my own business. They are made by reputable companies, and some of them are free and low cost. Some of them they will cost money, but in this business, you have to spend a little money to make money. So those are the 5 things: direct mail marketing, networking, websites, content creation, and consistent follow-up. Those are the 5 big things. And I count consistent follow-up as a marketing strategy because it's something that few people do. So let me know if you have any questions about this series that I'm going to do, or anything that you would like to have included. And I'll also put a link back to the podcast I just did about relationship marketing. Now, we think about relationship marketing as only past customers, and those are a valid source of future leads for us. But you can also think of relationship marketing in a different way to bring new people into your business. After all, this business is 100% about relationships. So there you have it. Let me know, as I said, if you have any questions, if you have anything specifically you'd like to be addressed in there. We're going to talk about the markets and the effects that these strategies, how all that plays together with the strategies and an up market, a down market, a seller's market, a buyer's market, and how that affects the way you market to people going forward. So this is Sharon Vornholt, and I will see you same time, same place next week. And don't forget to go over to the blog, the Louisville Gals Real Estate blog, and get your quick start marketing templates completely free, and look for the link below.